Hi, hey, hello, welcome to a new video. My name is Desiree, and this is a little behind the scenes of my art studio boutique called DeKelis Art Studio, where I create vibrant and colorful faith-fueled art, prints, and gifts. And today's video, I just wanted to show you a little behind the scenes, like I said, of what I've been making ever since I gave away about 90 to 95% of my artwork last month, the month of June, for a week. I reached out to friends and family via text. I sent out an email blast to my email subscribers, and then I posted it on Facebook and Instagram and here on YouTube, and just gave away as much artwork as I could that people would take. And I was really surprised by the amount of people that actually did take advantage of it. I did have some people that were like, I wanted to, but I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. But in my last video, I explained a little bit more about it. All is well. And the last few weeks have been a great opportunity for me to just explore, to play, to experiment with different ideas, color palettes, and I'm just giving myself permission to be creative and have fun and not have so much pressure of that it has to sell. And I'm just out here going with the flow, going with God. That's what I'm doing out here in these art business streets. If you do come across anything here that you like, I'm sure that you can find it on my website at DeKelisArtStudio.com. I will have the link in the description and pinned in the comments so you can come check me out, see what I have to offer. And I'm also sure that at some point I will pop back in because there are some collage work that I'm doing and I want to explain a little bit more. So I will get to that in a bit. But I hope that you enjoy what I have to offer you, that something piques your interest. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. And I would love to chit chat with you. All right, talk to you soon. I found this napkin, printed beautiful napkin at Michael's a few weeks ago. Honestly, I think it was early in June, probably the end of May, and they had it for like 60 or 70% off. Either way, I don't think I spent more than $3 for each pack, and I knew that I wanted to get into collage. This has been something I've been wanting to do for a while. And I saw them and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but I'm going to use them for something at some point. So I just had them. And then when I made these hand painted cards, I realized that this pattern would go great because I felt like the colors needed a little bit of something extra to it and needed a pattern. And I really like patterns. So that's what these are. And this glue, I bought this also a few months ago for the reason of doing collage and was testing it out. I also tried a glue all mix that I didn't quite like. I'll show you the comparison later. And I also did a Mod Podge that I kind of liked, but I didn't really. I liked this glue better. And then I decided after doing more cards, which I will show you at the end, I switched over to doing a matte gloss. Well, not matte gloss, a matte fluid varnish. No, not varnish, medium by Liquitex. A matte fluid medium by Liquitex. And I really like that. I don't have any images or pictures of it, me using it in this video, but moving forward, I'm going to use that. I felt like the paper, the napkins were pretty thin, and it was easy for them to warp, which was not such a big deal to me because I'm like, yeah, this is experimental and I'm trying it out. But if I'm going to continue doing collage and doing these techniques, I wanted to find some type of adhesive that would give minimal texture to the napkins. So I think that I found my answer in the matte fluid medium by Liquitex. But either way, not either way, but anyway, this was still fun to do and experiment with. And this set, along with another set I'm going to show you soon, they both sold. I did a YouTube short of these, and here are the glues that you can see right here. I did a YouTube short showing the cards because I was making them originally to be thank you cards for customers, and someone was like, how much are they? They wanted to buy them, and I was like, they're experimental, and they're like, I will buy your experiments, and I was like, what? So I was like, okay, here you are. Like I gave them to her for a very low price, and I was like, okay, and then I had the extra, so she got two sets, and then I had another friend, once I made more, ask if I had any more. She wanted them, so I sold her two sets. So now at this point, I've made, I think, 6 sets of these, and each set is different, a different color palette, kind of similar style, but I realized I really like painting small, and I like repetition. I like patterns, and I like funky colors, and I like creating things that I know is useful. As much as I do like making artwork that goes on the wall, I do like making prints because they have words and messaging on there. And I really do like making these cards and these smaller items like the hand painted magnets that you saw at the beginning of this video. I also have some jars that I don't have for sale, and I'm not showing them online purposely because I don't want people to want to buy them. And that seems so weird, but that has been the story of my career, I feel like. When I create things that are not intended to be sold, that's when people want them. And when I create things to be sold, people don't tend to gravitate to them or jump on them. So I'm like, I don't understand. There has to be some type of rhyme and reason for why that happens like that. But I did put up a new 2 sets of cards on my website, and I think moving forward, I'm going to just continue to make the cards, have fun with them. On these were made with cardstock, and the two that I have right now on the website, Style 1 and Style 2, are made from the same cardstock. If you want to try to do this on your own, I believe it was a 65-pound cardstock paper that I had left over from something else that I didn't want to use. And also my printer doesn't really print that well with it. So I have to find something. So I cut these down. They were 8.5 by 11-inch US letter size. I cut them in half, and then I hand folded them. So when I say these are handmade, they are handmade, not me making the paper, but me making them into cards, the painting, the collage, the sealing, like they are handmade. And so the more that I make, the better that I feel that they come out, the more I'm discovering what my style, my interpretation of colorful, vibrant, fun, abstract artwork looks like. And I'm really having fun. I'm really, really liking how it's turning out. Right here, I was trying to figure out what color and what type of marker and pen I wanted to use. And I decided on the gold metallic. I felt like it was a nice pop. I like gold metallic regardless. Silver, I'm like, okay, but gold is like my jam. I love gold jewelry. I love gold accents. I'm always trying to figure out a way to add a little bit of touch of gold somewhere, somehow. And then these are envelope seals that I made a while back. They are of my original artwork that I photograph and then I put them on Canva and I create, I add text to it and then I use my Cricut machine to cut out the circles. And so I have these as envelope seals, which I think is fun. I don't really need them because the envelopes that I have right now that I include with these cards are self-sealed, so they really don't need it, but it's fun to add on there regardless, a little pop of color to a otherwise very blank white envelope. And then these thank you cards, these were the very first set that I did. And when I tell you this was so therapeutic for me, just not having any plans, like this could be for my customers. I don't have to have the pressure. They don't have to be perfect. They're just fun things, a little creative exercise. I created them during a very stressful, emotional time. And I mean, you can't tell by the colors and the vibrancy and how funky and fun they are that I was going through an emotional time. But I literally had the opportunity to process the difficult time I was going through, the emotions, the thoughts. This was therapy for me. And I'm just so glad that there were two DeKelis fans who saw the value and wanted to share them with their friends and family and add them to their own stationery collection. Here I am cutting and corner rounding some I am affirmation cards. I've had these on my website for a couple of years. I also have some Bible scripture cards that I have. These are all my original artwork on there, printed and cut down. I've been having people asking me if there were physical copies made. I've had custom orders for physical copies as well. So now I'm offering them. And these were also the other cards that I made. So I'm excited and I'm glad you guys were here. So until next time, stay well and be blessed. Bye.